Hey everybody, welcome back to Kitchen Tested, Scotty Approved, with me, Scotty, and my kitchen. So today we are going to be making a awesome filling for our pupusas class on Sunday. So we're making a chorizo chicken tinga filling. We're taking two different things, combining them to make a third thing. I know, I'm crazy. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about how to make a chorizo marinade, then we're going to turn around and turn it into tinga. So we're taking two different techniques and combine them into one. So chorizo, what we're going to make here, is basically just a marinade. So we're going to be using a couple of different spices and a couple of different herbs, or a couple of different touches that I like to add to it, and we're going to marinate for a couple of hours, and then we'll turn around and turn it into tinga. Tinga is a traditional Mexican stewed dish, traditionally having like tomato and chipotle in it to make it nice and smoky and stewed and delicious. So we're taking all the lovely flavors of chorizo, combining it with the tinga to stuff it in a pupusa. It's going to be fantastic. So first off, let's get started with the marinade.
So to make chorizo, obviously you need a protein, or you don't have to have a protein if you don't want one. If you want to be vegetarian, use some seitan or use some tofu or something like that. I'm sure that'd be delicious too. But today we're going to use chicken thigh. A couple different ways to make this recipe. If you wanted to say make sausage or like a crumble, you could use whole cut like this. Like this is chicken thigh that I have deboned and removed the skin. I'm cutting into strips for what I'm going to make it for. But if you wanted to and you wanted to grind this yourself or kind of chop it real fine, you could actually make this into a sausage mix as well. But today we are making a chicken version of my chorizo. So in here I have about 1.25 pounds of chicken thigh. So I like to get bone in and skin on whole, anything with leg if possible. If you can't get it, use breast or whatever, but I like to get anything that has more items attached so I have more things to use. Like right now behind me in the stove, I have removed the bones and added it to a fortified chicken stock, and I'm making more fortified chicken stock on top of it. And same thing with the skins, which I can show you. I have them slowly rendering down right now in this pot, pulling out all that nice fat. And all those chicken skins are gonna get nice and crispy, and they can use this for a garnish or a nice snack, but you'll have chicken fat reserved, just like you reserve bacon fat, which is otherwise known as schmaltz, which is awesome to cook with. It has tons of great flavor. I'm gonna grab a glove, and we'll get started. So in my bowl, I have my shredded chicken, or my chopped chicken, excuse me. I have about 2 to 3 cloves, or I use a tablespoon of my homemade, salted garlic olive oil mixture. So it's like nice and kind of like a little bit confit inside my chicken. You don't have to do that. You can use regular garlic. In this bowl here, I have my dry Mexican oregano. If you can't find Mexican oregano, regular dry herbs or Italian seasoning will work just as good. I love the Mexican oregano because it has a little bit more of an herbaceous flavor to it. It's a little bit more aggressive, but in a really good way. It has great aroma. Also in here, about a pinch, so I did about 1/8 of a teaspoon of cinnamon and 1/8 of a teaspoon of clove. I'm actually just going to dump it into my other mix. In my other mix, I have my chipotle chili powder seasoning. So that's about 2 tablespoons of chili powder and then 1.5 tablespoons of smoked paprika, which I'm just going to give that a little bit of mix because we're going to dump it on top in about 2 seconds here. And in this cup, I've got 1/4 cup of white distilled vinegar, 5%, which I like a lot. I have some salt. I have my pepper grinder. But right now I'm also melting my bacon fat. So I like to use bacon fat. We don't want it screaming hot, just enough to get melted. It's gonna add a nice little smoky flavor to this. It's also gonna add a little bit more fat to the chicken thigh. I love it. I always save my bacon. Who doesn't, It's the best thing you can do. So now we take our garlic and all that nice bacon fat and just kind of mix it up really well so it's touching everything. Great. We're gonna take our vinegar and do the same thing. Now you don't have to add the vinegar. I like to add it because it does give the chorizo, and especially the chicken too, kind of like a little acidity that it needs when we go to cook it. I mean, obviously we're gonna turn this into tinga, it's gonna have tomato too, but it's actually gonna help really marinate this chicken thigh. Now remember, we are adding acid to a protein, so acid will inherently cook, quote unquote, the protein. So the longer it sits in it, the more opaque the chicken will get. But we're only let it sit for a couple of hours in the fridge, so that's fine. You want to let it sit overnight, you're more than welcome to. Now we're gonna take our seasoning here. Oh, smells great already. Really good mix. Probably like a tablespoon worth of salt. A little chili flake in there, but that's okay. Awesome. Take my glove off. I'm gonna do a couple of cracks of black pepper. You don't have to use gloves when handling raw chicken. You can go bare hand if you want. Just wash your hands really well. I like the glove. It's just a personal feeling. That's it. Looks great. Nice and dark color. No smell-o-vision available yet, but it looks awesome. Color's perfect. Smells incredible. This is gonna make great chorizo.
All right, we're done, at least for now. All nice and mixed up. Looks delicious. Smells awesome. Now the hard part, the waiting game. 2-4 hours overnight if you'd like. I'm gonna go probably like 2-3 hours and I'll check it. So we're gonna cover this in plastic wrap. We're gonna put it in the fridge, and then we're gonna gather our stuff to make our tinga. The tinga itself, when we go to roast it and actually make the stew, only takes about a half hour. So the longest process is letting it marinate. That's it. So now we wait. And we're back. 4 hours later. Chicken looks great. Smells great. Nice and tight. Took that marinade really nicely. That's chorizo. Done. Now we could have, if we had this as a pork butt or wanted to make actual sausage, we would now take this and grind. We end up making our sausage from there. This you could take and grill, roast, saute, whatever you want to do. Add it to your favorite recipe. Tacos, scrambled eggs, quesadilla, whatever you like. This is good to go. We're going to take it one step farther and turn this into tinga. So all the ingredients I have for the tinga are behind me. We're going to talk about those in a second. If you do not want to do this step, if you want to skip this entirely, feel free. Like I said, we're taking 2 different recipes and combining them. So we're really kind of like emphasizing these flavors inside our awesome pupusa for Sunday's class. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and start stewing this chicken. It should take about half hour to an hour, maybe longer, depending on how thick we want the recipe to be. And honestly, how the flavors kind of build out. So, grab our chicken, and let's get started.
Alrighty, so we got everything we need here to make our tinga. I have my Le Creuset pan getting nice and hot here. It's on high heat. Off to the side here, we have our chicken that we marinated in our chorizo spices. We have a cup of our fortified chicken stock. We have 28 ounces of pureed tomato. Canned tomato is totally fine. You want to use fresh, about 1.5 pounds. Fresh roasted tomatoes. This is 3 chipotle peppers and about 2-3 teaspoons of the adobo sauce. I'm not gonna slice these at all because I'm actually gonna puree this in my Roboku to make a nice thin sauce to go with for our tinga. And then off to the side here we have some more Mexican oregano and some more of our lovely garlic. So first thing we're gonna do is start cooking off some of our chicken to kind of get things up and running. This is the rendered chicken fat like I was talking about before in our video. So I'm actually gonna use this as our fat base to get started. So we're gonna drizzle a little in the pan, just enough to coat. Great. And get it nice and hot. So while that's melting and getting hot, let's go ahead and puree our sauce. So we got our tomatoes and our chipotle right into our Roboku. I'm gonna wait to add the chicken stock because I don't really need to add it to this. If I was using a blender, I might add it, but I think the Roboku will just do just fine. Awesome. Nice and well combined. That's what we're looking for. Our sauce base is ready. Move our machine here. We got our wooden spoon for later. This is basically it. We got a little bit of sugar ready and a little bit of salt as well. Let's go ahead and see if our pan's ready. Oh yeah, sounds great. We're probably going to add this in batches. You don't want to overcrowd the pan. And all we're really trying to do is just, we're not necessarily trying to color this or brown this. Just want to let it cook so we can stew it down. So we'll add a little bit. We'll add the rest of our garlic and oregano. More garlic, more oregano. Can't go wrong. Give it a good stir. Yeah. Woo! Yeah. Looks damn good. All right. Add the rest. You can roast this ahead of time too if you want to get more of a char on it. Or grill them and then stew them. All depends on your personal flavor. Ah, smells amazing. Great. Looks pretty good to me. Got the rawness kind of off. It's really, really going. So I'm going to go ahead and add our tomato chipotle mix. The chicken stock, we're just going to add as we see fit. This is going to come up nicely. So imagine you're only going to add half of this cup of chicken stock. Perfect. And we'll save the other half for later. This looks great. And obviously it looks, you know, like more sauce than there is chicken, but the chicken's going to stew and it's going to shred. That's what we're looking for. So it's all nice and combined. And if you notice, I have not tasted it because it has not come back up to a full boil. And I don't want to taste raw chicken. So I got it on high heat. I'm going to grab my lid. I'm going to put my top on. Great. I'm going to turn it down to about medium heat. And I'm going to set about 10-minute intervals. And every 10 minutes, I'll stir it, we'll check it, and go from there. We'll see you. All right, it's been our first 10 minutes here, so let's go ahead and take a look. Oh yeah, I can tell already. Looks great. Got this boil going. It's a little high, so I'm going to turn it down a little bit. So the first run with the lid on, this is just kind of get it up and running. So now, I turn to about medium-low heats. I'm gonna leave the lid kind of like almost a quarter off and let it steam and let it reduce at the same time. So same thing, 10-minute intervals, give it a stir, we'll check it out, and we'll see you when it's close to finish. This is our lovely Chipotle Tinga stewed chicken. Nice and pulled, good and thick. All I've done is I've added a little bit of sugar and some salt as a seasoning factor for this, and that's really it. So I pulled it out of the Le Creuset. I've taken out about a cup extra of the sauce. It's a little bit more than I wanted, so I'm gonna save this for something else. No point in getting rid of something that's delicious tasting. And that's basically it. So now, we've got something that looks great. It's gonna be great for pupusas. We're gonna let it cool, and tomorrow, if we want to taste it again, we can adjust seasoning then. It's really important not to go heavy-handed with salt or spice, because as it cools, it's gonna develop more flavor.
That wraps it up. That's it. Didn't take too long, but it's worth every second. Thank you all very much for tuning in. Hope to see you all Sunday. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me and reach out. Until then, keep cooking. Thanks.